Approximately 1 in every 59 children are born with autism. Albert Einstein.
Dr. Einstein had no speech until age 3. Steve Jobs, he was a loner. He brought snakes to school.
Leonardo da Vinci. This man was far advanced on the autism spectrum.
I'm not naughty. I'm autistic. And I just get too much information.
You're listening to Takiwātanga, Love Not Cure, exploring autism one strength at a time.
Kia ora, and I hope all of you are doing okay, and I'm glad that I'm doing this another episode for this podcast. And I've been busy lately, and a lot of things happening around family, school, feedback to our recent ORS decision and stuff like that. But today's episode, I'm going to talk about one topic that, in my view, is not being talked about in the autism world more frequently. And what I've noticed is, which is totally understandable, is talking about certain challenges, how to deal with this, how to deal with that, what are the actions that we need to take, what are the information that we need to understand and stuff like that. And this topic is something that is also, in my view, very, very important and is being left behind, and is less frequent being asked. And I've been trying to look for some information about it, and because it's so simple and it's so cliche that for most of the time that includes me, we are ignoring or neglecting that topic. And it is crucial in development. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me trying to make it a big deal. But because it's a big deal, it's such a cliche topic, but it's a big deal, especially in development of children, not just those who are on the autism spectrum, but all children in general. All right, this topic is more of I'm losing my my tongue. So this topic is more about the daily living activities that a child, regardless if you're in the autism spectrum or not, will need to undergo. So I am kind of like thinking that this is not being talked about more frequently because it's just a cliche that it's fundamental, it's basic, and you just do what you have to do, and it's like teaching a child when growing up, and it's just gonna happen. But in my view, based on my experience, right, unless we intentionally do this for my kids, and especially for my autistic son, it's not gonna happen, right? Because I am always in fight or flight mode. I'm always very protective of him being, let's say, being judged by other people why he is behaving or why he is doing doing that behavior, and so on. So me and my wife have decided recently that we need to start exposing my son, my kids as well, all of them, and we need to start exposing them to daily living activities. We need to start bringing them at the grocery when doing shopping. We need to start bringing them at the mall. I know sometimes we go to the mall, but we don't stay that long, especially when my youngest will start to get overwhelmed and will start to do uncomfortable behaviors, and that's the time that we are going to exit the mall. We need to start going to the park. We need to start doing some tramping, or tramping, is that the right term? Just short walks, not trekking, not the not the challenging walks like going to the Tonga River crossing. Maybe not yet, not yet. Maybe at some point, but not yet. Not today. Not in the coming weeks. So that's our decision, exposing my son to daily living activities, even though you don't see him react, or you get to see him being or getting overwhelmed with his environment and stuff like that. And we needed to start letting him walk as well, because in the past, for most of the time, he is on the stroller because it's easier for me as a dad to handle him, because or to manage him, not handle, to manage him, because he's already in a stroller where he is confined. He is just sitting there, and I will just push the stroller, and I will not exert more effort in trying to catch him whenever he runs away, or things like that, similar like that, or things like that. uh, I'm losing my tongue really. So same thing at the mall or the grocery, the park, etc. I know there are safety factors that we need to consider, especially if you're walking on a pathway, side on the side of the road. But I think he just needs to practice the daily living activities, and that's what we're after right now. I know there are other challenging moments for other families, but I think exposing the child bit by bit would make a difference, one step at a time, baby steps, and that's where what we're after. And lately we started trying to push away from using the stroller more frequently, or his stroller more frequently, because in one way or another he will grow up and he needs to outgrow his stroller as well. And you don't want to see a big guy when time comes in stroller. You get my point, right? He needs to start realizing that this is what people do, right? Go to grocery, buy your stuff, and also go to the malls, go to parks, do short walks, short walks and stuff like that. So that's what I am going to be, or me and my wife will be going to be focusing on in the coming months. And I think that it's very cliche in a way that this topic is not being discussed for most of the time. I'm not saying that, we need to dwell and we need to drown ourselves with information about daily living activities, but this is very crucial in a way as well, in my opinion, for his or everyone's development, right? So that's what we're after. And having said all of the intros that I had just mentioned, I am going to talk about our experience now with Percy Reserve. So this is a reserve park where we tried and venture. Is venture a word for this, or explore? Yeah, we tried and explored last time. So it's been a good experience as well. Yeah, because Percy Reserve is not it's only a 20-minute walk back and forth. If you're going to want to bring a child or your kids there at that reserve, it's just a short walk, and it's an amazing place. And since 2016 that we got here in Wellington, this is the only this is the first time that we've been there, right? And it's not freaking me out, but it's kind of odd that it's only 5-minute drive from our home. Actually, it's less than 5 minutes. going to the parking area, going to the entrance of the Percy Reserve. And it's kind of funny, right? 2016 when we moved here, and it's just our first time there, going there, and we never thought that that's an amazing place as well. You have your water wheel there. You have your air. There's a this is that a mini river or mini lake or something like that where you can see the ducks swim, and there's a tiny cave. I forgot the name, but my son is the one who's documenting. My eldest son is the one who's documenting the reserve. But anyway, having said that, so when we went there, we went out of the when we went got out of the car and start our walk. My son was in stroller. That's a thing, right? We've been trying to walk away from stroller or starting to push back on stroller from time to time, but because it's a place wherein it's a new place and new environment for him, so we tried to bring him, or we tried to bring him in stroller so he can start looking in his environment and getting familiarized by the new environment. So when we got there, so it's okay that we use the stroller around the area, we navigated or we explored the area. But when it's time to go and do the walk going to the falls, did you know that there's a falls there? I never knew that there's a falls there. I've been wanting to see a few falls back. Is that a falls? Is that a term? I'm losing my vocabulary right now, and my tongue is losing me. So there's a falls there, and like I said, I've been wanting to go to waterfalls even when we were living back in Oakland, and this is a 5 minute drive, and we just recently explored it, and I never knew that there's a waterfall there. So it's an amazing experience. So when we start going back to my story, so when we have started doing the short walk, right, it has started to become harder and harder as you progress because of the path. So what happened that time is that we have decided to leave the stroller somewhere in the area because there's no other way. Otherwise, it's going to be, I mean, first it's going to be safety risk, bringing the stroller up, and it's going to be harder to do it. Not that it's not possible. It's possible, but it's gonna take so much energy to carry the stroller, and it's a walking trail, right? Just imagine you have a stroller and doing your short walk in a walking trail. So we decided to leave that stroller and do the walk. And at first, my youngest is a little bit skeptical, so of course, I needed to carry him. And then bit by bit, we ask him to start walking, and he will do the walks because it's a nature, and there's something about nature that keeps you. There's a terminology that I'm after. Something about nature that keeps you alive and keeps you fascinated and keeps you calm. That's the one that I'm after. Keeps you calm. So my son, who is used to being overwhelmed with new places, he went okay. So we went there. We started a walk. He did some walk. Sometimes he asked me to carry him, which I did. With the next thing I wanted is an overwhelmed child in the middle of nowhere. So I did sometimes, and sometimes I ask him to go back to walking, and sometimes I piggyback him until the time that we are able to reach the waterfall. And it was an amazing place, really. It's not like a huge waterfall, right? It's just it's just simple waterfall, but it's amazing. Uh, Again, there's something in nature and water that makes a person calm, and he looks happy, in my view. Though sometimes, or for most cases, he's just poker. He just has this poker face that he is trying to uh, that he don't want to let go. Right, so he's got this poker face in him, but I know he's enjoying his calm at that point. And then going back, we had the same experience as well. We let him walk for a bit, a few bits, and then when he's starting to get annoyed, I carry him so at least he can calm down. He can get that um, hug from another human being, from dad, not ma'am. So he gets that hug, and then he gets regulated, and then we let him walk again. And yeah, and then we survive. It's just a 10-minute walk going to the waterfall, and then another 10-minute walk going back. So it's an amazing journey, and it's amazing um, experience. First time for my son, and he didn't get overwhelmed, which is great. And I think we need to start doing these kinds of things more often so he can get familiarized with the world, if that makes sense. And he needs to make sure, or we as parents need to make sure that he gets comfortable in every area. So I think the way we see him is that he just needs to get acquainted with the place. So he needs to, observe, and then he needs to see if that place will do some harm on him. And if he feels like it's safe to be out there, it's safe to do the walk, mom and dad is there. If I need help, I need support, mom and dad will be there. And he's just okay. So he turned out okay during that time. So which is amazing. And like I said, I need to, or we need to start bringing him to public areas, as long as it's not too overwhelming, I guess, for now. Like the mall, if you're going to the mall, make sure that it's right when the mall starts opening the gate, or opening the door, its doors, or maybe it's before um, it closes, or the mall closes. And though not not to bring the child when it's very hectic in the mall, like Christmas shoppings and stuff like that, where there are overwhelming number of people going shopping. So I guess that's what I'm after. So we need to start bringing them, children, all the children, our kids, into exposing them into the daily living activities and daily living activities, including chores as well. At home, we tried as much as possible ask our two kids who are neurotypical to do some chores, so at least they can have this sense of responsibility. And hopefully one day we'll do the same with my youngest, and make sure that he is also part of the whole active whole he's also part of this daily living activity that we're doing for the rest of the family. And yeah, this is one topic that I don't frequently hear, And I guess we need to start talking more about it because I know it's subtle. It's like it's just teaching the children or teaching the kids go to how to do the groceries, right? But it's subtle. But if I am not doing it to my children, then when are they going to start learning about the daily living skills? So I guess that's what I'm after and what I wanted to talk about. But it's not a biggie topic. It's just a simple topic, but I hope it makes sense for everyone. And I hope we can start talking more about this as well because there are certain strategies in implementing or applying this concept, especially if you are going to a grocery. Is the grocery going, well, what time of the day are you going to go to the grocery so you can start introducing this concept? What time of the day are you going to the mall? If you are going to teach your child on how to withdraw money from the ATM machine, how are you going to deal with that? If you are going to expose your child to ride let's say a bus, are you gonna go and just show the child what the bus station would look like at first, or are you gonna go straight and ride a bus? And things like that, And I think it is important as well, and we just need to have a bit of a good strategy. And one thing I forgot as well is part of the daily living activities of exposing a child is going to museums and going to not just going to the park but also going to museums, going to places where a child can learn and you can access her interests and expose them in as much woodworking or as much activities. Woodworking is an activity, so exposing them in as much activities as possible so you can or we can learn about their interests in life, and from there we can perhaps navigate to strengthening those interests and that it can become their skills, and later on could potentially support them in life by being able to, I don't know, navigate life and be able to make that interest their career as well. So anyway, that's what I'm after. That's what I've been wanting to talk about in this episode, and I hope in a way you get a little or more or many value or much value in this topic of daily living activities. All right, so until next time, I'll see you again, and have a good day and enjoy the rest of the week, and stay strong and stay healthy. Bye.
Every Tāngata fight Takiwātanga is different. If you fail with one strategy, don't stop. Keep moving forward. Always remember that for every failure you encounter is one step closer to your success. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, me muto te whakawa haere. Let's stop judging others. Me mahi tahi tato. Let's all work together. Kia maya, kia kaha, be brave and be strong.